Hi, I'm Grace. 2.5 years ago, I quit my safe, predictable corporate job to become a rookie CEO and take a punt on the little side hustle media business we'd created a year earlier called Click. Since then, it's been nothing short of a roller coaster. A daily rush of energy and anticipation mixed in with a healthy dose of self-doubt and insecurities, stress, pressure, and moments of pure joy and fulfillment. But being a rookie CEO isn't about the title on your LinkedIn profile or having a startup. It's about being in a mindset of learning, figuring it out on the way, and a hunger for growth, no matter what you're doing. Rookie CEO is my public journaling of the highs and lows, unexpected wins, and unintended mistakes, and the learning out loud journey of figuring this thing out as I go. So, welcome to the first episode of my new podcast, Rookie CEO. Over the last couple of years, I've listened to countless podcasts of founders and business people documenting their journey and lessons learned. But I found generally they're coming from experienced people with years of knowledge. The audience has missed the gritty moments of the actual learning process along the way and are hearing the polished reflections after the case. This isn't going to be that. This is the real-time experience and reflections I'm making in the moment as a 28-year-old with a lot of excitement and energy and hunger, but doing it all for the first time. So with that said, let's get into it. One of the most common anecdotes I hear is that knowledge is power. Arm yourself with as much experience and expertise as possible and you'll be set for success. But on my first episode of Rookie CEO, that didn't feel like great advice, and it certainly didn't feel reflective of my own experience. When we started Click, we had absolutely no experience, no knowledge, and no roadmap. We were in an industry that was new and developing as we went. We had a business plan because I'd read that was the responsible thing to do when you start a business, but to be honest, it was made off a framework that I'd downloaded from Google. I was 24, 2 years out of university, and had 18 months experience at a corporate job where my learning was completely coached and nurtured. I was in the deep end. We had a payroll of 3 staff, and I felt like I had no one I could ask questions to, and not really even any competitors that I could look to see how it was done. But what I did have was a very healthy dose of enthusiastic naivety. On reflection, I think this was probably one of my greatest strengths. While it meant I perhaps didn't have the on-paper experience, I did have a sense of wonder and possibility and a sense of why couldn't I make that work. In the first month of full-time work at Click, we made some major commitments that included starting a content house in Sydney, which involved renting a $32,000 a month house, moving 6 of the biggest YouTubers in the country into it, and starting a YouTube channel creating weekly content out of there and hiring 3 more staff. If I'd known at the start of it how difficult that would be and what a risk we were taking, I might have been rational enough to say, hey, that probably doesn't make sense. You don't have enough money in the bank for that. You've never made YouTube content. You don't even employ a video editor yet, and you've never tried to manage a house of YouTubers. But that blind optimism was so necessary for actually believing we could make it a reality. We had no sense of the right way to do things, so we just did it by feel, which meant we weren't bound by any preconceptions which might not have been right for us anyway. As a result, we just made it work because we had to. Sometimes now that I have a few more years experience, look at me, 28, so experienced, I actually realize that knowledge and the preconceptions that come with it can create so many roadblocks, and knowing the complexities and challenges can knock the magic out of a pure idea. And so embracing my own naivety and not being scared or intimidated by people that might have more experience on paper is something I now try to find confidence in. There's a few major advantages I've found through embracing my own naivety. Number 1, you're in a mindset of constant learning. Naive isn't about being stupid or willful ignorance. It's about having an open mind, ignoring conventional advice, and making room for curiosity, learning, and experimentation. Embracing your inexperience in different areas leaves you extremely teachable. Number 2 is that fear has a lot of fire. There is no doubt that running a business comes with a fair dose of fear. Dealing with cash flow issues, HR issues, client demands, and trying to grow is intimidating. But when you're inexperienced, your fear is often felt tenfold by your own self-doubt and worries. There was a period where I felt like my job was just putting out fires and solving problems all the time. But through that, you also just get really good at quickly solving problems and getting on with it. Number 3 is that people want to help you. contrary to popular belief, my experience has been that people love to help other people. Everyone wants to feel like they're valuable and can help impart their knowledge onto others starting out. By being real and saying, hey, can I get your advice? Can you help me with something? Can I get your thoughts on this? It makes other people feel good, it builds your network, and people want to get behind you. And number 4, you develop a razor sharp intuition. You see things differently because you aren't bound by prior experience. That means you'll make decisions based on your own logic. Tuning in with your intuition has been one of the most important skills for me in the past few years. Beyond decision making, tuning in with your gut will point you in the direction of your values and your purpose every time. So, with that said, I now try to find joy instead of fear in learning new things and connecting with new people. If you're trying to build a new business or break into a new industry or do something challenging, then the way things have been done probably isn't the way you should be doing them anyway. So, to sum up the first episode of Rookie CEO, reject the negative connotations around the word naive and embrace it. Guys, I'm really excited to be starting this podcast. I'm going to be here every week. Please let me know in the comments and in the podcast reviews what you think and what you'd like to hear more of. Please leave the podcast a review and a rating if you can. It will help other people find it, which is really important for all new podcasts starting out. And I'm really excited to be doing this and sharing my journey with you all. So I will see you next week. Bye.